Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast. This is season 3, episode 7 now. So this is now officially the part 2 episode. Had a weird situation happen on part 1. Nothing crazy or bad, but part 1 was a blast with Christeen Hernandez, my special guest. But found out that on Zoom, they want to try to start converting my meetings to 40 minutes. I didn't know I had to pay for like a premium. I've been using it for years when I record with people from out of town. So this will be part 2. Part 1 will be uploaded on September 4th, Sunday. But part 2 will come out Wednesday, probably of that week. So, listen to part 1 and definitely check out part 2 here. So my special guest is Christeen Hernandez. She's from Hendersonville, Tennessee. We did part 1 and talked about horses, dogs, told some crazy stories, kind of what happened, and then some updates. So this episode or part 2 kind of that I want to dive into with her. Christeen's always been a reoccurring guest, always has a lot of interesting facts or things that are that she likes to discuss. So she is a weed smoker. Just like me, just like a lot of the listeners, we support 420, legalize it, damn it. But
yes.
So I want Christeen to talk about something recently that her mother purchased for her. So what did your mother do?
So my mom already told me a little backstory on this story. My mom's a paramedic. She's been one for 30 plus years, all her life. Does 911, has done transfers. She actually now works at Southern Hills ER part-time. So she is a paramedic within the ER. So she's doing like 911 in the ER basically. And with that being said, I have asthma. And smoking isn't the best for your lungs, common sense, and she's a big cannabis, marijuana, whatever you want to call it. She's a big supporter of it. She thinks it should be legalized. If she could smoke it, she would, but unfortunately, due to her job, she can't.
Yeah.
But she was a big pothead in the 80s. She's a child of the 80s. And for Christmas, basically, she's already told me she's buying me a Levo machine. And that is this awesome machine device that goes in your kitchen. And it basically takes, it extracts the oils from cannabis and it makes it, you can make butter, you can make honey, you can make coconut oil. You can make there's endless possibilities with this machine. And she wants me to start using edibles more instead of smoking. Basically just ingesting it a different way to help preserve my lungs. I get where she's coming from. I mean, she's my mom.
But she, and it's cool too. She still supports you and then still knows you're getting your THC, but she just wants you to do it in a form safer for you. I totally get it. I know everybody, some people don't like it. Some people do love it. I'm a huge advocate for weed. I'm big on pot. It's been a big part of my life. It's just important in general. People have a very terrible miseducation about it, misinformation. And
it's completely ridiculed. I mean, my household, like my fiance Jim, he doesn't smoke weed, but he 100% supports me about it. He knows it helps me medically. He knows it helps my mental health. And he knows it's a way for me to just feel relaxed. It's my glass of wine at the end of the day, basically.
Yeah.
And he's supportive about it. My mother is really supportive, aside from ingesting it smoking wise, but she's looking at it medically. I get it. And even my grandmother, she's been back and forth with it. But I have a lot of people that understand where I'm coming from about it. Tons of people. I mean,
that's what's important. People need to, and that's with anything, people really should look at both sides, always look at both sides to kind of be able to figure out a real conclusion. I get if it's not for you, But don't judge someone if it is for them. And at the end of the day, nothing is wrong with it. Alcohol's way worse. And
Alcohol, it
it's
kills
promoted
you.
everywhere. It's poison. I
I
mean, it
mean,
literally is.
it is.
I drank it still, but it's poison. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my margaritas.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I do enjoy,
Oh,
you
it's good.
know,
I mean, trust me, booze
yeah,
is good sometimes.
I love, I like to, I don't love it, but I like to drink. I don't drink nearly as much as I used to anymore because I smoke weed. But
Yeah.
even like my mother, you know, she's seen the differences in marijuana and alcohol, the drastic differences from, you know, her on being on the ambulance. She's like, I've never seen someone want to commit domestic abuse because they smoked weed.
Yeah.
I've never dealt with someone who
You're not going to.
had a head-on collision because they were smoking marijuana.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, you don't want to drive high, but at the same time, who wants to drive when you're stoned? Half the time I want to sit on the couch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you know, it's so much safer than alcohol. It's so much safer than, you know, all these other drugs out there, like the heroin and the opiate epidemic is huge, huge right now.
Oh yeah.
And I just don't see the pleasure of, oh, I want to stick this needle in my arm and stick this stinging ass drug in me that I could possibly die from.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom has encountered so many overdoses in the ER from fentanyl and heroin. It's insane. Yeah. And it's like they're saying marijuana is still a class 1 drug or whatever that is a felon.
They're idiots.
That brings you felony. How? It's an herb that grows out of the goddamn ground.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's like it's the misinformation and miseducation, and that's what's horrible about America right now is that is kind of what's pumping this country along, and people have been spreading misinformation about it for years, but you know, weed's been used for thousands of years, and hemp, you know, hemp has tons of resources. Weed is so there's if people really, I just think, tried it, and again, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But it's like, don't knock it unless you have tried it or you know it's helping people. Because if it hasn't affected you at all negatively, and you're just a hypocrite and a piece of shit, and you just have something, you just want to be negative because you don't do it, fuck you. Like at the end of the day, there's no reason for you to have your opinion when you ain't done shit. And that's my thoughts on a lot of people, not just on weed, just on anything in general. A lot of people are quick to say, oh, you know, I have an opinion on this, I have an opinion on that. Like until you have tried something, or, you know, I mean, that's with anything, like even a restaurant. Like, I don't know how many times, you know, I've caught people in their own bullshit where it's just like, hey, you want to go to this place? Oh, no, I don't think it's good. Have you had it? Have you actually had it? No. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Quit reading on Google and actually go shove the shit in your mouth, and maybe you can give an honest opinion. So it's like, I don't know. It just sometimes people drive me nuts kind of with those hypocritical answers. But so another thing, you know, that I was going to ask you, what are some strains that you've been enjoying lately?
Obviously one of my tops I always enjoy is going to be wedding cake. I'm a big indica person. I'm not a big sativa person. To me, it just doesn't work. I mean, it does work. You take that back. It does work. I just prefer the relaxing aspect of everything. I don't need to be all hyped up and energetic.
Yeah.
But wedding cake has been one. I found this one strain I got from my girl called Obama Kush it's actually a hybrid, and it's a pretty good, like, even mix. And I really, really enjoyed that one. It's very euphoric, and that's one big thing I love in any marijuana strain is I love the euphoric feeling of like, whoa, when it hits you, and then all of a sudden your mind just kind of goes like into another, like, it's hard to explain. It's just the feeling is what I like. And another good one was I got this wax called Blueberry Muffin. That was really good. Made me feel really nice. It gave me a great night's sleep, like some of the best sleep I've had in a long time.
Blueberry muffins in general are just so good. You know, I
Which is
remember.
I'm not a blueberry muffin fan, like in the food world.
You're not?
Which is funny. No, I prefer chocolate chip muffins.
Oh my gosh. I remember as a kid, like I played basketball and baseball. I always wanted to put more weight on. I was just real skinny. So I'd have like big breakfasts, and I remember I'd eat like blueberry muffins, like especially my teenage years, and I cover those fuckers in strawberry jelly. And strawberry jelly, I am starting to realize that like I feel like everybody's got like 10 necessity food items that they need to have in their life like every week.
Mm-hmm.
Like every week at some point you're gonna fuck with that item. And strawberry jelly's always fucking with me that like during the week, good ways. Like I'll be like, okay, let me get this eggs, let me get some strawberry jelly. Hey, let me get some strawberry jelly with this. And then I'm realizing I probably should just buy a bottle of strawberry jelly. But I'm always gone. But the packets, I mean, strawberry jelly packets. Another thing. This is something that people don't really realize and probably don't think about. I enjoy the smaller things in life, like the tiny things in life that people don't really focus on. I think that kind of stuff's cool. Like strawberry jelly packets are way thicker than your regular sauce packet if you really think about it. Like it's always bigger because strawberry jelly is plumpier, and so you get more jelly when you are using those packets sometimes. So I want to challenge all the restaurants out there. Make your packets thicker. I need more sauce in there. You know, I like the sauce cup, but we got to start. We're such a country that likes to over consume, and we're all fat asses. But it's like, if that's what you want to promote and you want us to be a consuming country, give us more sauce. I'm advocating for more sauce. What's your favorite sauce, by the way? Like fast food sauce?
You know, I'm torn between either. I'm a big fan of just plain old ketchup with my stuff. Of course, the Whataburger ketchup's the best.
That's spicy ketchup, right?
I don't like the spicy ketchup, just the plain old fancy ketchup.
Is Whataburger got spicy ketchup?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I've had that on the fry. It's spicy.
But I like this plain old fancy ketchup, or I love that Chick-fil-A sauce.
Chick-fil-A sauce. Wow. I'm gonna say, you know, the salt. This is where it gets pretty. I get pretty deep with it because I'm a big sauce guy. So I'm gonna say, you know, barbecue's always been my go-to sauce my whole entire life. I don't think I've met a barbecue I don't like. Montgomery Inn barbecue sauce is definitely my favorite, but fast food barbecue, I'm definitely going to go with, or I'm just gonna say fast food restaurant in general. Wendy's is the go-to sauce. I don't go to Wendy's a lot. They're closed a lot. Employee shortage half the time. I don't even know if they're fucking open, but they got some damn good sauce. Their barbecue smoky. They had this awesome sauce, which was kicking. I mean, it was like Baja Subway Chipotle. Not that Baja, like actual Baja Chipotle. It was like it had a kick for nuggets, but Wendy's used to have chicken tenders, and I don't know if there's like a lawsuit or they couldn't. This was back when I was a kid, like teenage years. I don't know if they weren't allowed to keep going, but I was fucking killing those when I was like a teenager. I'd be like, I gotta get some of those Wendy's chicken tenders, and it was cheap. My parents were like, fuck it, I guess we'll get you chicken tenders, and they had their own sauce, and that sauce was smoky and hot and good, and it was almost like a remoulade. It was so good. I mean, damn, there's some good sauces. But Wendy's, you know, shout out to them. They have some good sauce. Now, Buffalo sauce wise, I'm gonna have to go Arby's. And Arby's also has some secret sauce, Bronco Berry, which I think I've talked about on this podcast before. If you have never had Bronco Berry and you're in Arby's,
no,
just get it. Just
see. I guess like I go to fast food places. I just don't go to that many. My go-tos are usually I like McDonald's because I like their fries and I like their breakfast. And I'll also will go to Whataburger if I'm in the Gallatin area because obviously I'm a Texan. I like Chick-fil-A, but goddamn it, I hate waiting in that goddamn line.
Wait, you do have a Whataburger now by you?
Yeah, I do.
So
I drive by when I go to my mom's or to the barn.
So how packed is it now?
It's not that bad because I've only gone for breakfast and I get up early. I'm an early person, so when I go, there's no one there. But
You go and you're like, I want breakfast, and they're like, a what-a? And you're like, breakfast. They're like, we just woke up. But yeah,
no, they're 24 hours, so they've been open.
Hold on. Okay.
All hold up.
How do I not know about this information? The 24/7 Whataburger down there?
All Whataburgers, regardless where they're at in the States, all Whataburgers are 24 hours.
Oh my gosh, I do remember that because you could get them late in Pensacola there. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
There, man.
So they're all 24 hours, which is great. I mean, because, if I have to stay at my mom's house, I go later in the day because I just stay overnight. So I can go get a burger at 10 o'clock if I wanted to or something.
But burger is the way to go. Sometimes those are that hits the spot. You don't know how many times where I've had a long day and I've accomplished like 25 things and I feel like I'm on top of the world. But then the one thing I forgot to do is eat. And then I'm like, what's going to do it? What's going to fulfill my body with nutrients that I didn't get to enjoy? And I don't know if it's always the best nutrients, but I'm like, give me that fucking burger. And I'm like, load it up. And I'm still gonna say it. I haven't showed him any love in a while. WW Cousins still.
And I remember WW Cousins. I think it was legit.
It is so good, and just the way they make their bread in house and the burgers, and it's like buttered perfectly, and then they always use really good cheese. And my thoughts. I'm a very big promoter and advocate for a palm burger. Just a burger that sits in your palm. Just a comfort palm burger that...
Wait. You had that experience, though, in Nashville at Jack Brown's.
Jack Brown's, yes. And Jack Brown's always gives me that experience. I've been there multiple times with y'all, and it's the perfect palm burger. ML Rose, another perfect palm burger, but I'm going to say Jack Brown's has the better palm. I like ML Rose's nachos, but...
I will say this, as someone who lives in town, who does go to both places frequently, I prefer Jack Brown's over ML Rose. It's because that fucking burger with the mac and cheese on it.
Yeah, and just, man.
And they have some fucking good secret sauce.
In that little patio,
you can bring your dogs.
Yeah, it's a good vibe, and they got cornhole. They have Kona Big Wave. Shout out to Jack Brown's. Better parking situation probably would help, but shout out to Jack Brown's.
They actually, after the tornado, they have a better parking situation.
Good, because that place always popping. You're like trying to get in there with the car, and it'd be wild. I had some food in Nashville when I was down there recently. I went. Hannah Hall, my last guest on the podcast, I was down there visiting her. We went to a show, an EDM show, and we had hot rotisserie chicken. And man, like the food in the Assembly Hall place downtown, I just could not believe the smorgasbord. And then I was talking to Jama, shout out to Jama, Slim and Husky's Pizza, which I've always been a big fan of. I love how their brand's really blown up down there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a Black-owned business, so shout out to Black-owned businesses. I think that's very important and key, and I think it's huge, especially in Nashville, Tennessee. So I love what some Huskies doing. They are doing big shit, and and Jama's been a big advocate and fan of them. So I like seeing that. I think that's key. Especially minority-owned businesses. It's just it's important for this world, and it's important not only for the world, but for America, and especially to keep economy going and things going. Like those businesses are just as important than your fucking Target, Walmart, Meijer, even your basic, your Sally's, the hair product place, your Hallmarks. Like support sometimes your minority and your independent owned businesses. You can even find some more neater things. And a lot of times that's where you're going to find your custom shit that like you ain't going to find at other places besides maybe online. So something that I thought would be fun for this part 2 would, and I wanted to pull it up. So Christine is probably the biggest Law and Order SVU fan I know. She's a big fan, huge into the show, loves the characters, loves the storylines. Clearly, she admitted in part 1, if you have listened to part 1, that she looks up Reddit on Law and Order SVU. So let me ask you, before I ask you some questions, some trivia. We're gonna do a little bit of trivia for Law and Order.
Suck at trivia.
Yeah, hey, it's all good. It's all good. It'd be a little fun. We'll just see. There's no prizes, and man, I already feel nasally. Like I said, that's why I've been out for so long. So, but I'm back. I'm fighting through it. So, here we go. First question though, I want to ask, what's your thoughts on Ice-T's character? I love Ice-T.
I know. I think he is a very important part of the show.
Yeah.
Because he brings, I mean, not only because he is Ice-T, and in real life, you know, him being a rapper and being from the hood, that's he kind of brings that into the show, you know, with him saying he is from the hood in the show. When he worked in narcotics, he brings that street in there and kind of helps with some of the, you know, if they have any like black guys who may be on for interview, he kind of helps them. Like, hey, I was in your place at one point in time. Do the right thing, you know? Like, I think he's just an important part of the show. I love his character. I think him as Detective Tutuola is awesome. And he brings a lot of funny one-liners.
Yeah. He's a good character, and I think that show, it's huge, and it's, you know, a shout out to a lot of those characters, you know, how long they've been on there, and you know,
Mariska Haggerty, she's been on there the longest. The Detective Benson. Yeah. You know, and she is someone who aged like fine wine. She is a beautiful woman.
Dick Wolf is he's a hell of an executive producer. He knows what he's doing. But you know, some of the cases, it's wild. It's definitely a you know, it's not. I've seen some episodes of the show because it's been on for so long. I haven't watched it in a long time, but it's definitely interesting and can pull at the heartstrings. So,
yeah.
Here's my first trivia question. Why did Olivia become an SVU detective?
She is a product of rape. Her mother was raped.
True. Facts. Okay. What is Captain Cragen's first name?
Oh, crap. Captain Cragen. I don't think it's John, because that's John Munch. Isn't it something like Robert?
No, Donald. Donald Cragen.
I don't know why I can't not remember that one. I guess I just don't pay attention to his first name.
Oh, this one's too easy. You already know this. What's Olivia's last name?
Benson.
Okay. In the episode Hate, 3 men were brutally killed. What race were they?
Weren't they gay?
They were Saudi Arabian.
Fuck, I suck.
In the episode Rooftop, what does the young man call the SVU unit?
These are so specific. I give up. These are too specific.
The sex police. Okay. Okay.
Maybe I'm just too high for this.
Okay, all right. I want to go to this other page. Supposedly, I got over 123 questions.
Oh my God.
So I always do my research for my show. Bible with Sleezy, the podcast, always on it. In what season did Amaro leave the show?
Oh, so he was there for 13, 14. He came in with Carisi. Season 15 or 16. I think it was 15.
16.
I said 16. I said 53 or 16.
You were close. You're close. Okay. Ooh, this one is a lot.
Also, shout out to the actor for Nick Amaro. I miss him.
So this question is like a tricky one. It makes you think that she left it in real life, but she didn't. She never left the show. She changed departments for 2 episodes because of this. What happened in season 7 that made her leave SVU?
Wasn't that Benson? Something happened with her and Elliot.
Yep.
And she went to the computer crimes unit. And then came back.
But no, it happened. He didn't do nothing wrong, but it happened when they were together. Something happened to her. Her throat got cut with a knife.
Yeah. I remember because they were chasing after a little boy, and she got cut, and Elliot was all butthurt because he went after Olivia, and then the boy ended up dying. But she went to computer crimes. I remember that.
All right, let's see here. Okay, what's the name of the medical examiner on Law and Order SVU?
Dr. Melinda Warner.
Yep. Bam. Number 1. Bam. You got it. That's the number 1 doc. Okay. Ooh, let's see. Let's go to this one. What addiction is Captain Cragen dealing with?
Alcoholism.
Yep. Fair enough. What president has made an appearance on SVU?
Oh, fuck, a real president?
In 2016.
Was it Obama?
Biden.
He did?
Yep. The 47th president of the United States, or excuse me, not 47th, the 49th president of the United States appeared. No, yeah, wait, yeah, he appeared on an SVU episode making a rapist in 2016. He played himself talking about an issue close to his heart.
I guess I never realized that. Huh.
What is John's religion?
Jewish.
But what are Elliot and Nick?
Catholic.
Yep. Damn, you got that. Good. All right, and here is my last Law and Order SVU question. Who replaced Detective Benson for a short amount of time while she was undercover?
Detective Beck.
Bam. All right. So Christine knows her Law and Order SVU. I had to hit you with some trivia.
A little fun fact, though, if you do watch the show, Detective Rollins, her dog in the show, Franny, her little pit mix, Franny May, is actually her real dog in life.
Really?
Yep. The dog, because every now and then, if you watch she starts in season 13 and basically has been throughout all the newer episodes, 13, 14, 15, 16, so on. But every now and then you will see a little dog of her, a dog that's like a little pitty or a little mix, little mutt, basically. She's really cute, though. Her name is Franny May, and that is her dog in real life. They allowed her to use it in the show as her dog. That's
dope. That is really dope. I like that.
Yeah.
It is, that's
and
a big thing.
I always gets excited because when Jim watches it with me, I know he's getting tired of it, but oh well. He always gets excited when he goes, "Oh, it's Franny," and she's on the show with him.
Shout out to Jim and the Brood Witch. that's
oh God, yeah, Aqua Teen.
Yeah, Jim fucks with the Brood Witch and the Brood Witch sandwich. Jim sent me a text, and he showed me a scientist, like a food chemist, who could actually make the Brood Witch sandwich, and it was a very impressive thing. Like, I was blown away. I was like, and it also, to think about it in a bigger light or a bigger picture, there's a lot of fucking talented people out there. Like for someone to watch an animated cartoon and literally only have like 11 minutes of this sandwich, and the sandwich is only what, 3 minutes part of that episode, and it even had sun-dried tomatoes. You know, that's a whole different conspiracy there. And this guy made it, and it was crazy. But yeah, Aqua Teen is a wild show, and the thing about Aqua Teen that just makes you laugh is it's just like, you know, you had to be like so fucked up just to come up with that idea of that show. I mean,
the fucking yo, where you at, dog? What up, dog?
Where you at, dog? Boost Mobile. Shout out to Boost Mobile. The Boost Mobile episode and some of the things they went after back in the day. That was like the popular shit. That was what was so funny. Like the one episode, which shit, I'm supposed to go to like a wrestling party tonight. I don't know what I'm doing this afternoon, but I'm kind of tempted to watch the Andrew WK episode soon.
Oh, party.
That episode is great too. And then have you and Jim watched which I just think it's so fucking stupid and good, is Nathan For You?
Yeah, I've seen that show.
It's so goofy, and this guy he has a new one on HBO, and it's pretty much like the same concept but on a bigger budget, and it is absolutely ridiculous. Some of the
I really miss Kroll Show.
That was good. And all his characters.
All his freaking characters he did was hilarious.
He knew it. He knew how to like I felt like with Kroll, the thing about it was he knew some of those characters were just fucking stupid, but they were so good and
so funny.
And every voice was so different. And then oh my gosh, the best Kroll skit every time was the Liz and Liz. And
yes, I got bangs.
And he's like, listen, he's like, I'm just trying to convince you. And then the other one would be like, shut up. And like, they just go back and forth. But his mannerisms and then like his face with it was great. And then I
also missed Detroiters.
See, I never got into that, but I wanted to watch it. I do like the cast in that show. And
no, I rewatched it on Paramount Plus because I at first was like, but after I rewatched it, it is so funny.
Oh, like they're like, I heard the writing's really good.
It is, because it's these guys that like run this marketing and ad business. And there's this one episode where they get a motorcycle or something, but they end up like they never actually speed off. They're always driving like 30 miles an hour, and they have these big old smiles on their faces and stuff. It's just stupid skits is all it is. And it brings me to I also really liked Key and Peele's show.
Oh yeah. Oh, Key and Peele's great. My favorite Key and Peele skit's the flick when they're going back and forth flicking, and then one of the guys dies, and then he goes to his grave to like lay flowers down, and he's like, yeah, I won, dog. I won. And then the skeleton comes out from the ground, just flicks him in the nose. He's like,
I have so many favorites of theirs, but one of mine that me and Jim go back and forth with is the one where it's Megan, and it's like, Megan, your jacket. No. And like Jim's like, Megan, your jacket. And I'm like, no, I can't.
That was so good because he follows her everywhere. Like he's following her.
And all of a sudden they're in the desert and he's like dying.
Megan,
your jacket. No.
It's so good. It's so
and there's so many good ones. Like, oh God. There's also one where they're slaves and neither of them get picked. All these other guys keep getting picked, and they're like, all right, guys, we got this. And they buff themselves up, and like a little old man gets picked out of there, and they're like, come on.
They're fucking great. The football one too, and they're naming all the football players and the names from where they're from, what school and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the East versus West, like that was good. And then
Do you remember the slap ass one when they're the baseball team and he's going slap ass?
God, there's so many. That show, like, fuck, they are good. That show is great. So I want to say thank you to Christine for being my special guest on part 1 and part 2. This was part 2. This was episode 7 of Vibing with Sleazy for season 3. I will be releasing this middle of the week, so tune into part 1, download it. If you haven't listened to part 1 and you just listened to this, you just missed a whole episode. So go back, tune in. Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast, is on all platforms, 33 worldwide. If you ain't listening, if you're not tuned in, you're lost. You don't get lost in the sauce. Get lost with Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast. You can listen to it on the way home. You can listen to it on a road trip. You can listen to it with your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You can listen with your animal. You can listen on the toilet. You can listen anywhere. I am always here to blow your mind. So Christine, shout out to Christine. Washed Up Equestrian, Christeen Hernandez. You can reach out to her. She's in the Hendersonville area. She is the horse girl. Reach out with horse questions. Reach out with, if you want a tack shop recommendation, if you want a saddle recommendation, anything, you just reach out. She cares about animals more than she cares about people, so she'll take care of you.
Truth.
So she will not leave you hanging. If she hears an animal stress,
you got weed you want to get it rid of, call me.
yes, definitely hit her up in the Hendersonville area. So but yeah, Tennessee Kentucky connection here. It was a good time, and I want to thank you again, and we will hopefully we'll have you back, and when I say we, me, for season 4. So that will be definitely in the future. So thank you again and have a good weekend. Peace, everybody.
Bye.